Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Justice the Analyst. This is me Kirill, your analyst from Belarus living in Germany. And today we are continuing to try to predict the outcomes of Eurovision 2024. And today we will talk about the second semi-final, and we will discuss each and every song quickly and see how well it should do in the semi-final without seeing the rehearsals, of course, because this will change many things, I think. So let's just start with the first country, and it will be Malta. So Maltese Sara Bonnici will open the show. I actually have predicted it in my deep dive analysis video. I have said it would be a great opener and that there is a good shot that not Austria but Malta will open the show, because Austria was opening in the finals last year. Probably also partially due to this running order number. She's ranked only 15th out of 16 entries by the bookmakers for qualifying to the final, and she's ranked 13th by the Eurovision fans. So kind of both don't really see her qualifying. I would say I rank their chances as 35%. So it's not like I definitely write them off, but I just think that if people will want to vote for the Bobs, they will rather choose Austria or Georgia. I'm a titan in this Besa is ranked by the fandom last in the semi-final, while she's ranked much higher by the bookmakers. She's 12th. I would rank her chances as 30%. I think spot number 2 to perform in the semi-final is really bad for her. So her song is also, not the most memorable one, especially after the revamp, because now it's in English with very generic lyrics. The instrumental became also pretty much generic, claps, a little bit of backing vocals. It's not bad by any means. This song is very good, one of the better ones also in the semi-final for my personal taste. I just don't think that there will be many people who will want to take their phones and really send SMS for Albania. I think there are many more, much more memorable ones, therefore 30%. And the next one is, I would say, one of the most mysterious entries this year. So it is ranked 5th by the Eurovision fandom, and it's ranked 3rd by the bookmakers. And it's Greece, Marina, Satti with Zari. This song, we kind of don't really know what to expect. It is definitely a mix of different genres. We didn't have similar songs in the past in Eurovision. Also, Marina was not performing on any pre-parties, so we don't even know if her live vocals will sound as good as we would anticipate. And furthermore, we also know that their live performance will be quite different, will be filmed just with one camera, the whole performance, if they of course stick to the same concept which they have already announced a couple of months ago. So it is, a lot of question marks, and the performance with just one camera can really go wrong, as we remember the Netherlands from Eurovision 2015. But because it's Greece and because this song is kind of popular at the moment, I would still see it rather qualifying than not. But I think the rehearsals will really show us if it's one of the favorites or one of the songs which might be surprisingly non-qualifying. But at the moment, I will rank them as 60% chance to qualify. So now, after Greece, we have Switzerland, which is definitely number 1 of the Eurovision fandom in this semi-final, and also joined number 1 in accordance with bookmakers in order to qualify. So Nemo from Switzerland is definitely one of the main contenders to win the semi-final. So I would say the chances to qualify are pretty much 100%, because we have already heard them performing at the different pre-parties. The live vocals were extremely amazing, so even if the visuals will be weak or let's say maybe too much, I still can't imagine them not qualifying. Maybe they will not win, but qualification is definitely out of question. And now it's time to take a look at one of the most successful countries of the last 5 years, and it's Czechia. So Aiko with Pedestal is, in my opinion, kinda Iceland of this semifinals. So I rank her chances to qualify with 5% because we have already discussed that Iceland is kinda sandwiched between very powerful songs in the first semifinal. And in this case, Czechia is performing right after Switzerland and before France. So between two very, very powerful songs. So at this point of time, I can't imagine her qualifying. We also have seen her performing live at the Czech selection, at the pre-parties. All those performances were, not very impressive. I would still expect at Eurovision it will be better. Maybe she will not finish last. And currently she's ranked by the bookmakers last and by the Eurovision fandom 12th. And then, after the emotional ballad from France, from one of the auto-finalists, comes a very, very energetic pop from Kaleen, We Will Rave, and Austria. So this is one of my personal favorites of this song contest, just because it's such a nice track to listen to in my playlist while I'm doing sports and so on. It's, the typical Eurovision fandom entry. That's why it's no surprise that it's ranked second by the fandom in order to qualify from the semifinal. And by the bookmakers, it's ranked only 8th. I think one of the reasons for them to rank it slightly lower were the pre-parties, where Kaleen's performances were, a bit shaky. The vocal-wise, it was a bit shaky. With the dancing, I think people also expected a little bit more, even though she has already said that in Malmö it will be something completely different, much, much more impressive. And she will also have actual dancers, while in the pre-party she was alone. I still think that she has a 75% chance to qualify to the final because it will be ranked only by the televoters. If there would be juries, I wouldn't be surprised to see Austria seen maybe even last ranked by the juries in the semifinal, because this song is definitely something where juries always massacre. But in this semifinal, it's only the televoters. I think they will stand behind this one. Even a couple of years ago, that song Halo from Austria, it was actually, even with terrible vocals, qualifying from the semifinal in accordance with the televote. So I trust Kaleen can do it. And the next one is Denmark, Saba with Sand. She's actually ranked 9th by the Eurovision fandom, while the bookmakers only rank her 11th, and there is quite some gap to the 10th place. I would say her chances to qualify are 50%. For me, it's really hard to predict which way it will go. We already know that the Swedish Melody Festival and Rejects representing Denmark are always doing pretty well. So my gut feeling is that Denmark should qualify, but this semifinal is just so strong. There is almost no space left in order to get into the finals. So I wouldn't be extremely surprised if she doesn't make it, but I think she definitely deserves it. And at the moment, 50% is what I can give her. And the next one to perform will be Ladaniva from Armenia with Jako. This song is ranked by the bookmakers 4th and by the Eurovision fandom 8th. Well, I think we are all really sleeping on this one. I think with a very energetic performance, with the stable live vocals, they really have a good shot even to win this whole semi-final and to be extremely high, at least in accordance with the televote in the final. So in my opinion, their chance to qualify is 95%. It's basically solid qualification. But because they didn't perform at so many pre-parties, and I think they performed just at 1 or 2 where their live vocal was questionable, so I still leave this 5% non-qualification possibility just for the case if the live performance will be a big disaster. And after a silly party song from Armenia comes a very serious, deep and dark ballad from Latvia, Halo by Dons. So this song I really like, and I really wish Latvia to finally break this record of non-qualifications, I think already 6 times in a row. But this year it doesn't seem like it will be a year for Latvia. So I see their qualification chances as 25%, just basically by the fact that the live performance for good vocally, but apart from that, they were not giving us much. And performing after such a captivating song from Armenia and before another banger from Spain, it is really not the best spot. If the producers would at least put him somewhere towards the end of the semifinal, I would have seen the chances higher. And the Eurovision fandom ranks him also 14th in the semifinal, while bookmakers a little bit higher, 13th. So in general, it doesn't seem to be the right year for Latvia, even though I think it's an amazing entry, and Dons is a fantastic vocalist, definitely one of the best ones in this competition. Then it will be a performance of Spain, which will be in Spanish language, and then San Marino, another song in Spanish language. I'm not sure what was the decision behind why they wanted to have two songs in Spanish language, one after another. Maybe like if the Spanish fans already tune in to hear their own song, that they still stay tuned to listen to at least the San Marinese entry. Not really sure, but I don't think it will really help Megara. The song is not memorable enough. We have enough rock songs in the semifinal. Czechia, Norway, and San Marino is not the strongest of them. So at the moment, I see their qualifications chances as 10%, just simply by the fact that I already gave 5% to Czechia, and I think San Marino stands a little bit higher chances if their live performance will be absolutely incredible, mind-blowing, some huge show. But the Eurovision fans rank them second to last, and the bookmakers third to last. So I think San Marino, you will not be seen in the final this year. And with the spot 11 rising from the ashes like a phoenix, is Nutsa from Georgia. Well, this one will really be a showstopper in some way after the songs from even Spain and also San Marino. She will bring this incredible live vocals. Her song is a very, very strong bop. The only thing which concerns me a little bit if she will not perform it too aggressively, because at some of the pre-parties I felt like maybe she should have relaxed a little bit and, don't push the vocals too much, because the song is, after all, a bop and not a very emotional ballad. So at the moment, I rank her chances as 80%. I think this is one of the most solid qualifiers with incredible vocals and very memorable song. While fandom ranks her 7th, I'm a little bit surprised to see bookmakers putting her only on place 10. Even if there is a gap to 11th place, I still think she's definitely not a borderline qualifier. Can see all the pain. And after Georgia, it's time to move to Belgium, Mustii, and before the party is over. Actually, this was my first deep dive analysis video which I have posted, and I was so in love with the song. It's definitely one of my personal favorites of this year's Eurovision. But I have to say, after seeing the live performances, seeing the way he performs the song, I'm not really anymore so optimistic. I think in the music video, his vocals were very much polished, the visuals were very much polished, and I think while performing this live, he goes a little bit over the top with his emotions. His vocal is not very stable, so it really starts reminding me of Senek's story, who also had an incredible song. Everyone was sure she will qualify, and in the end she didn't make it. So at this point, the Eurovision fans rank Belgium 3rd, the bookmakers rank Belgium 6th, but I cannot give Belgium more than 50% qualification chance, because it will really depend on how it will look during the semifinal rehearsals, and so far my feeling is not the best, so I feel like I'm being a bit generous with this 50% just because the song is so incredible. But after all, even if it's a song contest, it's all about the whole performance, not only the song, but also how you deliver it, how it looks with all the camera angles, and not every song can qualify from the semifinal. I definitely cannot pronounce the name of the song. I think the artists are Minus and Puuluup. So quite a funny entry, I think, after very serious Belgian one and maybe a little bit shaky vocals from the Belgian one. This will definitely stand out. And currently the Eurovision fans rank it 11th, so they don't think it will qualify. The bookmakers rank them 9th, so kind of also at the edge of qualifying, but rather qualifying. I would say I see their chances as 65%. I think they are very confident performers. They will stand out. They will definitely make a party on stage, which will be needed after Belgian entry. Baby, promise me So after Estonia, we actually have performance of outer finalists Italy, Angelina Mango with La Noia, who is one of the main contenders to win Eurovision this year. So it will be a very memorable performance. So, two very active songs. So I think it's a very clever and also very contributing spot for Israel to perform after them. So Eden Golan with Hurricane will perform with this spot 14. And currently, Eurovision fans put her on place 10, so kind of on the edge of qualifying, while the bookmakers see her as qualifier number 7. Of course, Israel is a little bit unpredictable this year because many people might decide not to vote for this, but at the end of the day, we know in Eurovision you can only vote for the song, you cannot vote against. So I think there will be a lot of people who will want to vote for the song. Maybe some people who even in general would not be fans of such ballots. They would feel like they want to show their support to Israel, so they will vote for this one. So I really see chances of qualifying as 95%. I'm pretty much confident that Eden Golan will make it to the final. I also have seen a photo of her dress, how she will perform it on stage. She'll have 5 dancers. So based on all these things, the fact that they will be in the final is, I think, not really questionable. Our next country is Norway. If you remember, Norway is the most successful country in the last 15 years from all the semifinalists of this year. So from all the 31 countries taking part in the 2 semifinals. So Norway is a country which we expect the most to see in the final. And this year, I think they did not disappoint with this very strong folky ballad. Eurovision fans rank it 6th, bookmakers rank it 5th, and I give it 85% chance to qualify to the final. It's still not 100 or 95 or 90 because I think maybe this is not, the typical genre which Eurovision audience would vote for. So it might, of course, happen that they will be one of the main favorites of the televoters also in the final. Who knows? But I would say it's a little bit unpredictable still. But as you see with my 85%, I rather incline towards them being one of the favorites of the televoters. And our last song, Europapa by Joost Klein from the Netherlands. So Joost is ranked by the Eurovision fandom only 4th, but he's shared 1st together with Switzerland in accordance with the bookmakers. So of course the song is the biggest hit from this Eurovision. If we take a look at, charts, Spotify, YouTube views, he's definitely the most hyped one. My only concern, with which I will give him not 100% but 95%, is the fact that we haven't seen many of his live performances, and the ones which we have seen were not really so strong. Like, he was not really singing so much. He was, of course, interaction with the crowd, but singing wise it looked kind of weak. But I think maybe it was just because of the acoustics, and I still believe that in Eurovision it will be really great. But just for the sake of, him having still motivation to work on his vocals and improving it for the Eurovision, I give it 95%. So these were my opinions about our 16 semifinalists of semifinal number 2, which will take place on May 9th in Malmö. So again, like in the first semifinal, in my ranking, 2 countries are actually sharing place 10, 11, so I couldn't really decide whom to put higher, whom to put lower. So as you can see, my qualifiers from this second semifinal are Greece, Switzerland, Austria, Denmark, Armenia, Georgia, Estonia, Israel, Norway, and the Netherlands. And non-qualifying countries, in my opinion, will be Malta, Albania, Czechia, Latvia, San Marino, and Belgium, which means that in accordance with my results, 5 countries are qualifying from the first half, 5 countries are qualifying from the second half. I think my results in this semifinal are not as different as the ones from the bookmakers. I think the main difference would be with Belgium, which currently everyone sees as a qualifier, and I see it as borderline, maybe rather not qualifying. So it will be definitely a much stronger semifinal. I have so many songs here which I have ranked with more than 80% qualification chance in comparison to the first one. I think more songs from the semifinal will be really in the actual top 10 or top 15 of the final of Eurovision. But what do you think? Which semifinal is stronger? Do you agree with me about all these countries, or do you think I have overrated or underrated something? Please let me know down below in the comments, and I can't wait to see the rehearsals and then to modify my ranking before the actual semifinals.